Hey peeps, it's Sophie here from Disrupt Tutoring, and as always, it's such a pleasure to join you. Today we're dealing with the Grade 10 2018 Physical Science paper, and this is question 11 on circuits. So let's get into it. So first of all, it says consider the circuit diagram below. Now let's look at the circuit diagram. We've got a voltage source of 24 volts, so that's your battery. We have an open switch there. We've got this resistor and ammeter, or rather light bulb and ammeter section, and they're in parallel with each other. And then in series with that, we have another light bulb and a voltmeter over that. And then we've got an ammeter here in series with the whole circuit. Great, so let's start. It first says that switch S is open. So that means that no current is flowing through the circuit. So 11.1.1a says write down the reading on the following voltmeter, V1. Now this is V1 over here, and even though there's no current flowing, there's still a voltage in a cell. So that is a battery, and batteries always have a voltage in them. So we know that the answer to 11.1.1a is 24 volts. Even though the switch is open, no current is flowing, but there is still voltage in those cells. So for B, it wants the reading on ammeter A1. And ammeters measure current. And I've said that no current is flowing when the switch is open. So that answer would be 0 amps. There's no current flowing. Great. So then it says switch S is now closed. So you're going to imagine that this has now been closed like that. Great. So 11.1.2 says calculate the equivalent resistance of the circuit. Now, I like to think of circuits as small parts that you can put together. So immediately I can see a few parts in the circuit. I can see the parallel circuit, and I can see the series part, and then they add together to make up the whole circuit. So then let's start that bit. So we know we're going to deal with the parallel part first. So we know that to work out a parallel resistance, we say 1 over R parallel, because that's the parallel R, is equal to 1 over R1 plus 1 over R2. So we know that both the resistances in the light bulbs are 8 ohms, so 1 over 8 plus 1 over 8, and that gives us a quarter. Remember, that's 1 over R parallel. So if you invert the two, then you get R parallel is equal to 4 ohms. But we're not done yet. They want the equivalent resistance of the entire circuit. Now, in this other part, this resistance is just in series with everything else. So what we can say is we can have this R parallel value plus the series value. So the R equivalent is equal to 4 ohms plus 8 ohms, which is equal to 12 ohms. So that's the equivalent resistance for the circuit. Okay, then it says, let me just clear up some of this stuff here, now that we know the equivalent resistance. So it says, now they want the reading on voltmeter V2. Now there are a few ways to go about this. You can use, voltmeter on V2. There are a few ways to go about this particular problem. You can use ratios, but I'm going to stick with the method of breaking up the whole circuit. So let's start with what we don't know. So we don't know what the reading on ammeter A1 is, and we know that that current flows directly into this light bulb, this 8 ohm light bulb over here, and that is where V2 is over. So let's start by calculating the current in ammeter A1. So using Ohm's law, we know that, So because ammeter A1 is flowing into just this part of the circuit, it is that part's current, but it's probably more useful to find A1 with respect to the equivalent resistance, because we don't obviously know V2. So there would be two unknowns in the formula. So let's work with what we know. So an important thing in circuits is to always keep your subscripts the same. So let's just write down what number this is. So if I'm working out the total current, which is also equal to the current going through A1, then I need the total circuit information. So if I need the total voltage, the total current, and the total resistance, which is just the equivalent resistance, which we now know. And we know the total voltage because that is just the voltage that's in the cell. So we know 24 volts is equal to the total current times this equivalent resistance we worked out, which is 12. So that gives us the total current of 2 amps. Now, as I said, the total current is also the current in A1, because that is the total current. Current only splits if it's in a parallel circuit. So it hasn't split yet, so that is our total current. So now we can go ahead and work out the voltage in V2. We know what the resistance is as well. So V2 is equal to the current flowing into it, which is the current in A1, times the resistance at that point. So that is 8 ohms. So we're going to say 2 amps and 8 ohms, which is 16 volts. That's the reading on voltmeter V2. Great. So then it asks, how do the readings on ammeters A2 and A3 compare with each other? So let's start with the way this current was going. So we know this current is going to flow through here, it's going to go through there, and then it's going to split into these two sections. It's going to have a branch that goes there and a branch that goes there. But these resistances here are the same, which means that the amount of current that splits on either side is going to be the same. Usually more current flows in the direction of least resistance. So in this case, the current is going to split evenly. So over here, 11.1.4, the current going through A2 is going to equal the current going through A3. Great, and there's the second part to this question, which I will show you now. It says, the graph below shows the relationship between the resistance and the length of a conducting wire. So as we can see here, here's resistance and here's the length of the conducting wire. It is a straight line relationship and it's pretty proportional. And as you can see here, that as resistance is increasing, well, as wire length is increasing rather, so is resistance. So the first question is, write down the relationship between the resistance and the length of the conducting wire. And we've discussed this, so I'm just going to write it in shorthand. We know that the resistance is proportional to the length of the conducting wire, which you can see there. So length of wire increases, resistance goes up. That makes sense because the current has to travel through a longer wire, which will increase the time taken for the current to get to the other side. So 11.2.2 says determine the resistance of the wire with a length of 30 millimeters. And this is quite simple. I'm going to do it in a color. All we do is we go up with 30 millimeters. We draw a little line on our graph at 30 millimeters. And we draw another line straight across here at the same point. And it depends on how you read it, but I'm reading about 1.35 ohms. So I'm just going to say the resistance of the wire with a length of 30 millimeters is 1.35 ohms. And that's determined just from this graph here. Great. So that's it for question 11. Before I go, I'd like to say a very special thank you to our epic sponsor for making this video possible. You can read all about them in the description below. You can also be sure to visit our website for more of these epic tutorial videos. And if you can't find the answer to your question, you can send us the question and we'll respond with a personalized video just for you. But until next time, stay epic.